Okay, we did the liver before. There's just a couple more structures that we need to know. This ligament, for example, is the ligament that separates the right and the left lobe, and this is called the falciform ligament. This ligament here, this white, is called the coronary ligament, and this is called the triangular ligament. These are the ligaments that attach the liver to the rest of the abdominal structures to keep the liver in place. And at the bottom here, you see this? This is called the round ligament that will appear from this point. So this is where it appears here. This is called the round ligament, which is obliterated blood vessel that show up here. Regarding this, we said that this is the inferior vena cava. These are the hepatic veins. This is a right hepatic vein that get the blood from the right lobe of the liver. This will be the left hepatic vein. It's blue, so it's a hepatic vein that will bring the blood from the left side. And again, this is the falciform ligament, the white. This is a coronary ligament. This is a triangular ligament. And regarding the stomach, we talked about the stomach before, but the outermost layer, which is a cover right here, this is called the serosa, which is the outermost cover of the stomach, which is this epithelial tissues surrounding the outermost. If you peel it off and look at the layers of the muscles inside, there are 3 layers. The one that's going longitudinally is the outermost, and this is called the longitudinal layer. And the second one is like this, going transversely, and this is called the circular. And you see here, these are going, this muscle layer here is going longitudinally. The cut piece of the circular, so you can see it going longitudinally in here. So these are the 3 muscle layers. It's different than the intestine. In the intestine, it was the outer longitudinal and the inner circular. Here is the outer longitudinal, inner circular, and innermost. And inside, this is the longitudinal one. Also, there is a curve here, and there is another curve surrounding the whole stomach. So the outer curve, which is the larger one, is called the greater curvature, and this curvature here is called the lesser curvature. The greater curvature gives attachment to the greater omentum. It is the connective tissue that hangs down there to give blood supply to the intestine. So the omentum that attach, which is a fold of peritoneum that attach the greater curvature, is called the greater omentum. The omentum that attach from the lesser curvature and goes up to the liver should be up here. So this is called the lesser omentum, which is going up here. So there are 4 parts of the stomach. We always say fundus, body, and pylorus. But there is a small part here that's called the cardia, and this what contain the cardiac sphincter, which is in there. This is the cardiac sphincter inside. So this piece of the stomach that contain the cardiac sphincter is called the cardia. So 4 parts again: fundus, cardia, body, and this is the pylorus. This model here that's showing you duodenum, which is this C-shaped part, the first part of the stomach. And this is the pancreas, as you see the lobular structure, which always tell us that this is a gland. This will be the head of the pancreas. This is the neck, second part, and this large part here is the body, and this will be the tail. The tail is in contact with the spleen here. Now the purple, we said the purple is the hepatic portal circulation, which bring the blood containing nutrients from the small intestine, bring it to the liver. And if you look at this model, this blood vessel here, this will be the inferior mesenteric vein, and this will be the splenic vein, and this will be the superior mesenteric vein. The inferior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein will join together. So this is a joining here, which will be joined by the superior mesenteric to make the hepatic portal vein that will go to the liver. We talked about it in the liver here, which is this part here. So this will continue like this. So this is bringing the food, the blood containing food, the blood coming from the spleen, the blood coming from the lower part of the intestine, the blood coming from the upper part of the intestine, superior mesenteric vein, inferior mesenteric vein, splenic, all together will make the hepatic portal vein, or the portal vein that will enter and distribute throughout the liver, so it gets filtered out, and then the veins will take it through the right and left hepatic veins to the inferior vena cava, going back to the right atrium and circulating around until it goes all the way to the rest of the body. This is the common bile duct, and obviously it's going to open to the duodenum, and we will see that. And this is the superior mesenteric artery right here. This is called the celiac trunk, and the celiac trunk will have the splenic artery, the common hepatic artery, and this is the left gastric artery. So these are the branches of this, and this celiac trunk is coming from the anterior aspect of the aorta. If you look on the other side, this is the pancreatic duct. This is the main duct, and this is the accessory duct. They will open through to the duodenum that we're going to see in the next model. So if you look at this model here, this is showing the same thing. This is the duodenum, the C-shaped structure here, the duodenum. This is the head of the pancreas. This is the neck of the pancreas. This is the body, and this is the tail. And the tail is going toward the spleen. But this contains a couple more structures here. So this is the main pancreatic duct, and the main pancreatic duct will have will have a sphincter here. That's called the main pancreatic sphincter. This is the common bile duct that have another sphincter right here, and then they will join together. If I open this, it's not open, but at this point here, this is where both of them will join. This and this will join together at this point here. You don't see it, it's inside. And this will be the hepatopancreatic ampulla. So the hepatic pancreatic ampulla is down here, and it's going to open to this, which is the major duodenal papilla. This is coming from the accessory one, that this is called the minor duodenal papilla. So major duodenal papilla, minor duodenal papilla. The minor duodenal papilla is the opening for the accessory pancreatic duct only, while the major will come from the hepatopancreatic come from the hepatic pancreatic ampulla that contain the hepatopancreatic sphincter. So if I open this and remove it, you will see hepatopancreatic ampulla and hepatopancreatic sphincter. So there is a separate sphincter for the major duct or the main duct. There is a separate sphincter for the common bile duct, and when they join together at the ampulla, there will be another sphincter for both of them inside the ampulla that's called the hepatopancreatic sphincter, and then it will open here at this point, which is the major duodenal papilla, going to this part, which is the duodenum. This is obviously the gallbladder. This is a cystic duct. This is the right and left. This is piece of the liver, part of the liver, showing you the right and left hepatic ducts that will join together to make this. And this is a common hepatic duct that will join the cystic duct to make this, which is the common bile duct. You see the common bile duct will dig in and will appear from here, common bile duct, and then it will have the sphincter join in the ampulla and open at the major duodenal papilla right here. Otherwise, everything else is basically the same. This is the celiac trunk, showing you the hepatic artery, the common hepatic artery, the hepatic artery proper, and this will be the splenic artery, and so on. Anytime you see purple, we're talking about the hepatic portal system. Red is artery, blue is vein, and this is not in the digestive system, but this is the kidney, and this is the suprarenal gland. This model here is showing you the salivary glands that we talked about, and here is the parotid, which is out there, outside of the angle of the mandible. So this is the parotid gland. This is the duct of the parotid gland. We have pair of them, and here is the mandibular salivary gland. The name gave it away. The parotid is just called the parotid, but the submandibular, which is this one, is under the mandible. So you can see it from here too, under the mandible. So this is the submandibular. This one here is under the tongue, so this is the sublingual salivary gland. Sublingual means under the tongue. Submandibular under the mandible. So these three are the salivary glands that we need to know. And if you look here, we talked about the curvatures of the stomach. This will be the greater curvature. The other curvature is up here, but this part here, this is called the greater omentum, and it is hanging from the greater curvature of the stomach and hanging down, covering the intestine. And as you see here, there's blood vessels inside, so this is to supply the intestine and the rest of the structures, and this is called the greater omentum, which is part of the mesentery. So the greater omentum come from the greater curvature, and the lesser omentum will come from the lesser curvature of the stomach that we saw before. It's not at this view, but it is from the lesser curvature. But so for this part here, coming from the greater curvature, that will be the greater omentum. It should continue like this. If you look at this model here, we did the liver before, and this is called the Porta Hepatis. Porta means porta, or the door, or the entrance and exit, so it's the door, the Porta Hepatis. And if you look closer, you will see the structure. The purple is obviously the hepatic portal vein right here, that's bringing the blood containing food from different parts. It comes from the intestine, superior mesenteric, inferior mesenteric, splenic vein. They will come together and start to divide inside. So the liver will reach the blood through the hepatic portal vein, will divide and branch until it goes to the liver cells to be filtered out, to modify and modulate and store the foods, work on the food, and so on. And then at the end, it will leave through the hepatic veins and go to the inferior vena cava, which is this one. If you look closer, this is obviously the gallbladder. This is a cystic duct that will be joined by those two structures here, which is the right and left hepatic duct that will make the common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct will join the cystic duct to make this, which is a common bile duct that we talked about. The red here is the hepatic artery. So we see the hepatic artery, we see the hepatic portal vein, and we see the biliary system, which is a cystic duct, hepatic duct, and this is the gallbladder.